And I'm a doctor of reading. I make your reading healthy. How about that? Have you been a doctor who gets your body healthy or your mind healthy? Yeah, the look down your throat? I work on reading. So we are going to read a story today called A World of Worms. Okay, so just look at the cover for a minute. We're just going to talk about it. And we're going to be thinking, when we're reading this story, our brains are going to be thinking about what's the most important parts of the story, and then what some details might be, okay? And we're going to learn about how earthworms live and how they help plants and animals. And I have to tell you, I love earthworms. I'm a gardener, and I love it when I'm digging in my garden and I see those shiny little, big sometimes, earthworms. They're so good for my garden. Okay, so very quickly, we're going to make a chart. Now, what I do, teachers, this is an aside for you, I always do it on a piece of paper so I can take it off and put it into their tub for tomorrow. Otherwise, you erase it, and tomorrow you can't for the life if you remember what you did. So what do you think? Just take a moment to think. What do you think you might learn about earthworms? What are some of the things that you think? Anything?
I know they live underground.
Okay, they live underground, and I'm going to show you, we call this note-taking. When we put a bullet there, we don't have to write a complete sentence. I love the way that you answered in a complete sentence. Thank you for that, that was excellent. But they live underground. You'll think that's what you're going to see. Anyone else? What else? You're all going to think of something, so if you need to open the book and have a quick look, do it. Just what do you know? What's one thing that you think that you might learn about earthworms? They're long, they can be long. They can be long, okay? Okay, are they all long, do you think? Some are short, but you can have really long ones. In fact, you're going to find out how long. They're really long. What are you thinking, Olivia? What's one thing you think? What do they? That's a great one. What they eat? What about you, Ethan?
They make plants grow.
So how do they make the soil healthy? They make plants grow. Okay. Excellent. And so as we're reading today and tomorrow, we're going to be writing down when we talk about the story what might be some new things that we found. Okay. So what we think we might learn, we're going to be thinking about that. Let's hope that this stands up. It gets loose. Hang on, I might have to tighten it. Except I don't think it tightens for some reason. Oops, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So let's open it up and let's have a look. We've made the chart and we're going to be thinking up. Now I see I should have done that as they're looking through the pictures, but there you go. So we've got how many chapters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters. So let's see if we can get through the first 2 or 3 today. Okay, and then you can read the next ones tomorrow. And we're going to find what would be some of the things that you would be learning. If you look at the table of contents, what questions would you have from reading that table of contents?
What is an earthworm?
So what do you think that might tell you?
Where they live.
Okay, what else?
Where they sleep.
What they look like? Okay. Okay, what about where they live? That's the next one. What's the third one? Third chapter about? Olivia, what's the third chapter? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What is it going to tell you?
How do earthworms breathe?
Oh, now that's really interesting. They don't breathe like we do. It's very interesting. And what about the last one, Ethan? Not the last one, the fourth one.
How do earthworms grow?
So those are questions. These are things we're going to find out. What's the last one for you? It's on page 16.
Predators.
Predators. What are predators? Just a minute, Mason.
Like birds that eat the worms?
Things that might eat them. Predators. They've got lots of predators. Okay, so we're just going to look through the first couple of chapters, because I think that's as far as we'll get today. And let's have a look. So what do you see straight away when we look here on this page?
I think he's digging in the dirt or something.
Okay, what do you think? Everybody's going to share. What do you think's happening?
He's digging a hole to go underground.
Do you think he's digging a hole? How does he make a hole, do you think? How does he make the hole? Does anyone know how he makes the hole?
Rolls down.
He eats the dirt. That's what, and he makes it, he purifies it. That's why earthworms are so good. And I love in these books this more to explore piece. This is always a little bit of extra information and things that we can research. Here's something I didn't know until I read this book this morning. I'm driving down the road and I see the corner store, what do you call them here, the
Party store.
party store, thank you. And I see a sign that says night crawlers. Now I know that people buy night crawlers to go fishing, but I didn't know that night crawlers are just worms. I thought night crawlers must be some other thing that grows somewhere. So now I see that night crawler is a name for an earthworm. And I also discovered when I was reading this why they're called night crawlers. Now don't tell if you know, and we're going to get to that part when we read. Okay, oh, you keep it under your belt there, buddy. Okay, now have a look here. If we look here, on page 4, it tells us, look at the body. Look at the body of the earthworm. What can you see when you look at his body? You know what we call those pieces? Do you know what we call those pieces on an earthworm? Segments, you say it. Segments. Let's find that word on this page. Segments. Find it. Okay, check it with your finger. Segments. I want you to say it. Put your finger underneath it. Segments. Do you know why we find words when we're introducing the book? Why do we find words?
To help us learn.
And what are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with those words? You're going to read them. And the reason I want you to say them aloud is every day I read with children and I introduce tricky words and they get to them and it's like never seen them before in my life. So we want to practice them so that when we get to them in the story, we know how to say them, okay? Segments. And those are the little parts. Think about an orange. Okay, who's had an orange? And you peel the skin off and then what do you do? How do you eat an orange? You pull it apart and what do you have?
You eat it.
And what do you call the pieces that when you pull the orange into lots of different pieces?
Oranges.
Segments. Segments. They're little parts. Okay, let's keep going. And on page 6, you talked about them burrowing. Can you find the word burrows? Yep, say it. Run your finger and say it. And that is, you said they're drilling down and they're making a burrow. And then much further down the bottom of that page is castings. Find that, castings. Does anyone know what castings are? They eat the dirt, and then where does the dirt come? It goes out their end of their tail, their backside, I guess it will be the equivalent. And it's all enriched for our garden, and that's called a casting. You say it. Yeah, and what it says here, the earthworm leaves behind piles of the eaten soil and plants called castings. And they're the pieces. Have you ever seen this? You ever seen this if you've looked outside? You have a look, you're going to see pieces like that. Okay, so let's keep going. Oh, there's that word, page 8. What's that word? And we know, what did we say that was? The things that might eat them. Okay. And then on page 12, let's look on page 12. Breathe. Let's find the word breathe. No, it tricked you this time, didn't it? It wasn't the bold one. Breathe. You on page 12? Good. Check it. Check it. That means slide your finger and say it and look at it. Ah, keep searching, buddy boy. There's another one. Okay?
Oh.
Yep. Can you see it? Are they the same? No, not quite. We're looking for breathe. And that means how the oxygen gets in. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to read silently, and I'm going to lean in and listen to you read, and I want you to try and get through chapter 1 and 2 and be thinking about what do you think the most important thing is, because we're going to add some facts up here when we've finished, okay? And I'm just going to lean in and I'm going to listen to you read, otherwise read silently, okay? Okay, start here. Open it, honey. Okay, start reading.
If you didn't know there is a good you will
Now there's a tricky part in this line. Try it again. From here.
You will find some.
Was that the tricky bit? This one wasn't the tricky bit though, was it? You said that. What does this say? Some... Do you want me to help you? Let me show you how you could... I think you kind of got the letters muddled up a little bit, didn't you? Say that much. Get it started. Slip. Slimy. Do you think that would make sense with an earthworm? Would he be slimy? Have you ever touched one? Do you know what slime is? You know, it's all slippery and kind of yucky and sticky. Slimy. So he can wriggle along. He can slip along. So you say that word. Slimy. Is that what you said? Okay. You will find something. Keep going. Good girl. You've made it all make sense and look right. Okay. Just where, don't need to point, just tell me where you're up to. How about you start from here?
It keeps the black egg in the burrow so it can.
You can break it with your finger if you need to. You're doing a good job of breaking it. Do you know what this word is? Appear. And what's the opposite?
Disappear.
Okay, let's put it back. Let's put it back in the story. So
it can disappear quickly. If a predator tries to eat it.
now I love the way you fixed this up here. What did you notice? Do you know what you said the first time? You said it keeps its black, and then like a snap, you were just like a snapping turtle. What did you do?
Back.
You fixed it up because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. That's what good readers do. They're thinking about making sense and making it look right. Okay. Oh, I love the way you worked that out. You are so persistent. That was a tricky one. Let's put it back, start from here, and then I can hear the story.
After Arthur lays an egg, a cocoon forms around the egg to
I love the way you're thinking what's going to make sense and look right. You've got this much right, haven't you? Pro. Let's see if that will make sense. Let's see if that will make sense and look right.
the egg to protect its the cocoon is
Let me help you. Let me just show you this part. What would this one say if it was written like that? Bear. Okay, and if we go like this, you know about changing the Y. Now it would say bear. This one would say berry. This one would say, could it be buried? Go back and see, read again and see if that would make sense and look right from the.
The cocoon is buried in the ground.
Did that make sense? And did that look right? I'm sure that you've learned about looking for the root word and then changing that Y to I-E-D. Okay, keep going. Where are you at, 100? Okay, so, oops, something fell off. I don't know, on my pen.
Because there are lots of animals that like to eat everything. Birds, rats, and toads like to eat snakes, foxes, and bears also eat.
Do you know what I heard your voice doing, which was just beautiful? You were noticing the commas and you were reading it like a list. Did you hear how your voice, you kind of said birds, rats, and toads, like, I could hear that you were reading a list. It sounded so interesting. Okay, have we got any more? That's the end. Okay. Who's read chapter 1 and 2? So that would be finishing on page, let me see what page. What's our first one? So it would be finishing on page 11. Who's up to page 11? Don't shut your book. Up, you've already just got there. Okay, so where do earthworms live is the last one. You passed it, okay? Okay? Okay. Can I just show you something interesting on this page? This is page, let's turn to page 10. There's something really interesting to me on this page. What is this feature here, this map telling us?
Where worms live.
Okay, now, it's not quite correct because I have to tell you, is that what it's saying? Okay, right down here, see that little country right down here, right down below Australia. This is called New Zealand, and guess where I come from? New Zealand. That's where I come from, that little country, right down, and I live here now. I don't come every day just to visit you from New Zealand. But look how far away we are, okay? A long, long way away. And we have earthworms, so I don't know why, and Australia has earthworms, so I'm not sure that it's a totally accurate map. Okay.
I can see Michigan.
Yep, see the mitten there, did you? Okay.
Wait, where's Michigan?
It's on the tiny spot over there, right there. I see
Right
the
in
hand.
here. You think that's the Great Lakes?
There's a lot of
Show us where.
right here. See that?
Oh, where the lakes are. Okay. In here. Okay.
There's a lot of
Okay.
worms around.
We're going to look back here and you're going to be thinking about what were some of the things that you found out, okay? We predicted that they were going to live underground, we predicted they can be long, we predicted we thought we might learn about what they eat, and they make plants. So I did not look at what time we started. Do you have any clue?
You've been going 18 minutes.
I've got 2 minutes to go then, okay.
I just noticed, like, if they eat their heads, the new body will grow up.
Oh, who else is like that? Do you know what other animals like that? Another reptile?
No.
Lizard. A lizard his tail can drop off and they can grow a new tail. And it tells you that they can grow a new tail. I didn't know that earthworms could grow a new tail as well. I thought that was a really interesting book.
And in my old grandma.
Okay, stop a second. Which one of these are you answering? So what was it, you gave us live underground, didn't you? What, did you have any new facts that you found out about being underground?
They leave their still a little bit of body in the underground so they won't get lost and eat.
So when they eat the soil, what did they tell us about when they eat the soil? What was one of the things that they told us? What do we call it when the soil goes through their body and enriches, makes new soil? You want to turn to that page quickly and find it? Who talked about them being long? What did you find out? And what was yours, Ethan? What they can eat? And what was yours? What did you think, Olivia? They can make plants grow? Okay, that was yours. Okay, what did you find out?
Worms make soil so they can make plants.
So they make plants grow, and a word we can use is they enrich the soil. they give it water, they give it air, they turn it over, and they can make, they enrich the soil. So it makes it, your garden is always so much healthier if you have lots of earthworms. What was yours? Were you the long one? Okay, what did you find out?
I read it, but I forgot where.
Well, find it. Keep looking.
It's actually called a barrel.
They make a burrow, exact, beautiful, and then what do we call the soil that they help enrich? Did you find that word in there? Quickly find it. We found it before. What was your one, Missy? What was your one? What they eat? Did you find out what they eat?
They eat the dirt.
And what's another word for the dirt? Soil. Okay, they eat dirt. Okay, and I think they talked about the fact that they eat the leaves sometimes, that they can make it so they eat dirt and leaves, and you can have a look through and see if there's anything else that you saw that they eat. Who was the long fellow, okay?
There was 150 segments.
Okay, so that could make them long, but there was a part in there where I saw that they talked about how long, we could look at the index quickly and see if it gives us, does it grow? 14, 15. No. Page 6 perhaps, I know I read it. What does it say on page 6? All right. 16, 17. Goodness me. Perhaps I dreamt it. I know it said that they can be very long and they can be short, all that, and you said it's got 150 segments. Okay, so we're going to keep these facts for tomorrow. Let's just read them quickly together. We had questions about, do they live underground? Can they be long? What can they eat? Read what does honey? They make plants grow. And what we found about living underground was they call that what, Mason? A burrow. Yep. And what did we find about them being long? That they can have 150 segments. What do they eat? Dirt and leaves. And what do they make the plants grow? Because they enrich the soil. So we're going to keep this. Your teacher's going to have it so that when tomorrow, when you're reading the last part and then when you go in to write about it, we're going to be thinking about what are the most important things. Casting was what I was thinking about. That was the word, okay? Because that was part of being in the burrows. You can find that page. That was what I was thinking, and that was an important piece. Okay? Yeah. Okay, thank you.